Cheese. Uh-oh. Welcome to Workvine 209 live with Eric and Linda. Welcome for joining us. Thank you for being a part of Workvine 209, Eric and Linda live show. And I'm Eric.
And I'm Linda. Thank you, everyone. Workvine 209 is a co-working facility, kind of like remote working environment out here in Tracy, California. How's that remote working going for you out there? Hopefully it's going well. If not, look into co-working or Workvine 209. Anyhow, we are bringing communities and businesses together physically and virtually through this platform, and we're glad that you're joining us today. In our pivot, we started interviewing business professionals and leaders to bring insights, encouragement, and tools to help during these trying times. So yes. Thank you. And we have a great person coming on board, Eric.
Yes, so today we have Nic Raboy. Nic is a developer, evangelist, has a lot of skills in the developing world. If you want to know something about coding and developing, stay tuned for Nic Raboy, who's coming up. A good friend of mine has helped us out a lot in some of the things that he's done for us. And so we want to welcome Nic Raboy. Hey, Nic, how are you, buddy?
I'm good over here. Thanks for having me.
Oh, thank you for being a part, man, and coming on and sharing a little bit about what you do and some of the things that maybe you've even helped us with. So I know you're CEO and a founder of a Polyglot developer, right? You may not see it that way, but that's what you are because you do a lot in the industry. And so tell us a little bit about the Polyglot developer and how that got started.
Yeah, so I don't know if I'd go as far as calling myself a CEO or anything. So the Polyglot developer actually started as my way to kind of keep track of the things that I was working on. Because I'm a developer, I'm a programmer. I do a lot of things and I can't always remember what I've done. So it started off as a blog. I would basically keep track of things that I did, and eventually it kind of got traction with the world. So people were finding this material. They struggle with the same stuff that I struggled with, and it became a resource. So that slowly evolved what I was working on into a brand. So it turned into a brand where it started as the blog, and then it evolved into a YouTube channel, podcast, Twitch stream, courses, things like that.
Yeah. So and I mean, all those things are great in the developing world. And I was looking at your LinkedIn profile here, and man, something that was incredible to me. I know I've been to the Polyglot website and I've seen some of your trainings and tools that you offer, but you're saying that you have 200,000 hits per month. That is like incredible.
Yeah.
How did you get there?
It was not an overnight thing. So, I mean, it started real small. I mean, it started for the first few months of when I was doing it, it was getting maybe 1 or 2 hits a month. And then by keep on doing it, it slowly, people discovered it. They discovered it on social media. They discovered it in a Google search. And I mean, it took a year or two, but then finally, it was getting consistently over 200,000 as far as viewership.
Wow.
Hey, Nic, so how did you come up with that name, Polyglot?
Yeah, so it started off with just my name. So it originally started as nraboy.com. But it wasn't floating over so well with certain communities because people don't interpret it as N for Nick, and then Raboy, they interpret it as the NRA. And that's not really the brand that I wanted to portray. So Polyglot is someone who knows multiple languages. It's typically associated with maybe spoken languages, but I interpreted it as programming language as well. So it became the Polyglot developer.
Cool. Polyglot developer. I like it. I like it. So I know that you do a lot of different trainings, and you write a lot of information on developer programming, but you also started Tracy Devs. Can you share a little bit about why you started Tracy Devs and kind of what it does here in the Valley?
Yeah, so Tracy Devs is something that I had wanted to start for a long time. And this went through personal experience of having struggles finding work, being somebody in the Valley, because do companies want to move you to the Bay Area? And then do you really want to live in the Bay Area kind of thing? So my goal was to start a meetup group to try to get all of that local Central Valley talent, which is kind of at the cusp of the Bay Area, cusp of the Central Valley, and show that, hey, there's talented people right here. And maybe within a perfect world, bring jobs to this local area. So that way people don't have to commute, or they don't have to.
You had a meetup group before.
What was that?
You had a meetup group before, didn't you?
I've managed.
Did you have a?
Yeah, I've managed a few meetup groups, but I didn't have ownership of a particular meetup group until Tracy Devs.
Okay.
Real different.
Okay.
It's not something Tracy Devs is something I started.
So what are some
versus the document?
And maybe share a little bit about the topics that you offer and I know we do them once a week on a Friday. I mean, once a month, right? Once a month on a Friday night. Share some of the topics that you guys talk about.
We cover quite a few topics. So it's the world of programming and development is huge. So it's not ever just one topic. So for example, one meetup we had a game development kind of night. So we had somebody who worked for a popular game development company called Unity come down and show us how to do game development. And we've had scenarios where people come show us how to use JavaScript or etc. Just whatever's hot when it comes to technology, what people are interested in.
You had somebody come doing resumes, and that was a popular one too. It really wasn't anything about developing. It was about doing resumes. Talk about that.
Yeah. So last year we had a resume workshop. So this is, I wanted to do a resume building workshop because I interview a lot of people and I see a lot of resumes and I see a lot of very bad resumes. And that doesn't necessarily mean the candidate is bad. It's just they don't know how to write a proper resume. And because of that, they could be the best candidate in the world. They're not going to be seen by any kind of hiring manager. So the goal was to kind of come as a group, make it a collaborative experience, and share what works and what doesn't work. And I'm actually trying to do that resume workshop once a year because even if you're not looking, it's a good opportunity to keep up with the trends in case that day does come around where you need to make use of a resume.
Yeah, that was a good class. I sat in, well, actually listened from my desk, and I've learned a couple tips myself on resume writing. Hopefully I won't need to write one in a long time. But anyhow, it was a great class. And so and the person that was teaching it, she's, I like her too. She was very, she was compassionate and passionate about helping. So it was a good choice in speaker for that day.
Yeah, when we do it again this year, I'm hoping to get more recruiters down here, the people who are actually doing this outreach, because they have the best insight into what works and what doesn't work.
Cool. So are these meetups geared toward people who are developers or people who really want to develop? Or, I mean, what age range? Or is it just open to everyone?
It's open to anyone who's interested in development. You could be a student, you could be retired, you could be a developer looking to learn something new, so that way they can maybe change career options within the development industry.
Yes.
It's open to everyone, and it's a family-friendly event. So we sometimes have high school kids come in, and it's perfectly fine. Um, it's open to everyone.
Great. I have someone here I'm going to bring on real quick, and I think he may have a question for you.
Sure.
Hey there, how are you? Barney Kramer. How are you? Good. Doing good. You have a question for Nick?
I got questions for everybody. Nice to see you on your show, Nick. I had some of the Facebook thing coming through when I came on, so I don't know. Got lots of interesting things when you're on my side of the computer. So. Nick, one of the things that I really appreciated about the presentations I saw you do in the Trace Developer thing when I'm not so tired I can get over there on Friday nights is I love the way you keep things nice and simple for the people.
Yeah.
Like most technology people, you have a mountain of experience, and for an awful lot of us out there, it kind of leaves us wondering where we're going in life on it, because it's really hard. It's like the 1,000-piece puzzle, but you don't know what the puzzle looks like. So you don't picture it. So, for us. So, but to the question that I really had is, I just wonder, what are your perspectives or what are your opinions about how when something like this happens? There's always some changes, but just besides the social distancing. My question is, how is it going to change the whole technology sector of business from your view? What do you think is likely to happen? Likely and probable.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely not an expert in this realm. I can only share opinion. So my opinion is that with all of this work from home stuff, people are going to realize that the productivity of their teams is just as good as if they were in the office, and they may actually start to cut the office spaces that they're renting in, say, San Francisco or New York or all of these high-priced areas, and embrace the remote. I mean, I don't have any expertise in this kind of stuff, so it's nothing more than an opinion of mine. So don't take it as truth.
Well, I like to call it a well-educated or well-versed opinion, though.
Yeah. Well, Nick, you've been working remote for some years now, right? And you've looked and searched for jobs where you don't have to go in. I mean, you worked for a company where in Belgium, was it?
At one point in time, I worked for a company that was in Germany. Yes.
Germany. Oh, yeah. So, I mean, so this isn't anything new. I mean, working remote is something that you do.
Yeah.
How do you like that?
I personally like it. It's not for everyone. Some people don't have the focus to be able to be productive at home or wherever they're working remotely. It depends on the individual, and how dedicated they are to it.
Right. Cool.
There's another thing that happened to me that I'd like to share, and I get a perspective on it. Last week, I engaged a client that I had several transactions with, several telephone calls with, and every once in a while you hear, and it usually comes from old timers like me, that, well, I can get on a phone call if I need to talk to them, yada yada. And I never met this person in person, and I hadn't been on the Zoom call for different reasons. It just hadn't worked out. And I could not believe, in my opinion of the person was not all that wonderful until we got on the Zoom call. And I can't believe the difference and how wrong I was about what I thought was of arrogance and things like that was not that at all. And you could tell it the minute you saw that person and you could talk to that person. And so I know that, while my generation, probably the one behind me, a lot of people who resisted the value of what we're doing right now, there's nothing more powerful than when you can look at a person. I don't care if they're 4,000 miles away, and all you're looking at the screen, and I'm looking at the screen. It just changes the dynamic completely, in my opinion. That's a statement, isn't it? Not a question.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on that, Nick? There you go. There's a question.
Good information. Good information. I have a question for you. Let's see if I can get here we go. How can I help you with your business, right? So when I look at that question, right, for you as a developer, Nick, and I know you worked with us on a lot of different projects. And so one of them that is, I feel, very important for businesses these days are automations. Can you share some of the things that maybe you've helped us with and some of the things that other business individuals out there may need to automate their systems so they're not working as hard?
Yeah, I mean, for context, I helped Eric and Linda at WorkFine get their marketing and automation stuff up to par. So I took it from examples of my own because I am a one-person shop, and Eric and Linda have a small team as well. So you can't do everything. You can't be on top of everything. There's not enough hours in the day. So you have to think smart. You have to think, what can I get the computer to do for me? So that way I don't have to manually do it. Can I get the computer to enter items into a spreadsheet for me, or et cetera? So that way I don't have to, even if it takes 3 minutes out of your day, little things add up. It adds up as far as time goes. So if I have permission to share what I've helped you with at WorkFine.
Yes.
So if you're signed up to the WorkFine newsletter, so if you've seen emails come in from WorkFine, these are emails that really no real human being is sending right now, even though it looks like one. These are emails that were pre-created, and they're being sent based on your interests and how you interact with those emails. And you could receive maybe 12 emails over the course of a month or 60 days or any amount of time. And that just removes one step out of Eric and Linda's day, because now they don't have to send 12 emails a month to 300 people. It's doing it automatically. Or say, for example, when somebody stops into the business and they fill out the tablet with their information. Well, you don't want to have to enter that information into a spreadsheet or some kind of record keeping application. You want that to happen automatically. So just more automations, and you could do all of that with various tools. There's automate.io, Zapier, ConvertKit. There's a whole variety, but it makes a difference, more so when you're a small team.
Yeah, you know what, Nick? I remember that day when I was working on my computer with another person, and we were and I had to leave the meeting that we were in to help with some stuff on the computer. And you were like, "What are you doing? You've been on that computer for like 4 hours," and we were trying to figure something out. And you said, "You need to really do automations." And then that just like opened up a can of worms. And then we showed you how we were doing intake for people that come in to our facility. We were doing it like,
yeah, you got a stack of cards.
And you were like, "Oh my gosh, you should not have to. This is so old school." And so when you come in, it's like, okay, here comes Nick. He's gonna help us because he's new school and we're so old school. But I really appreciate you and everything that you've done for us. And about those automations, they really do work, because I remember being in the office, and someone came in and they were like, "Hey, I got your email and thank you for thinking of me." And I was like, "Oh yeah, you're very welcome, because I forgot that it's automated and I didn't type it out and send it out." But I get a lot of response from it, and the time is in the forefront, and then after that it's like icing on the cake. So
yeah, definitely. And you have to wonder, I mean, if you were to hire somebody to do that job for you, you'd pay the minimum wage or more. And then the cost of the tools to do the automation is a fraction of what that would cost to hire somebody to do that kind of admin work.
Absolutely. And, you just like how to accommodate your, that would cost so much money too. So thank you for helping us.
Sure.
You saw us struggle and you dove right in. So thank you.
Yeah. So get up on the automation, right? Automation. How can we help you with your business? Get some automation. Save, even if, like Nic said, if you're saving, 5 minutes a day, all that time adds up. I love what we have, and also you can probably, do you have that on your website? Anything about automation, Nic?
I do somewhere. I think you just have to search for it a little bit. I don't know offhand where it's at.
Okay. So if you're looking or you want to find out a little bit more about that automation, go to his website and take a look. He has a lot of resources and courses available for those who are developers, even those who want to become developers, even those who aren't developers, right? I mean, it's a good site that has a lot of good information on it.
Here, I'm going to see if I can type something in the chat here.
All right.
You received that?
Yes, sir. Got it.
That might be a good starting point.
I'm gonna drop that in our chat here for those of you who are viewing and those who are watching later. I just put it in the Facebook chat for you guys to be able to take a look at some automations for your marketing. So I think these are great tools that can help. Cool. So what else you got, Nic? I'm looking at your training courses and the resources on the page. Are they fairly simple? I mean, you just click it, you purchase it, and then what?
It depends on what you're after. I mean, if you're talking about the video courses, so those would be a series of videos on a particular topic, kind of like a remote classroom setting kind of thing. And it's based on particular topics. Do you want to learn about mobile development? Do you want to learn about something else? There's a few courses on there. I try to release 1 or 2 a year. They're a lot of work. But yeah, they're useful if any of the topics that you're interested in. Give it a shot.
Cool.
I do have another question. What type of automations do you suggest a startup must have in their toolkit?
Email is probably number one. So you need to curate an email list, and you need to establish a drip campaign. But you can't just drip out the same emails to everyone. You've got to be able to pick and choose who receives what, and that's based on how they've been tagged in the system, right? So in your case, I'll give the example of yours. Did the person sign up using the tablet when they came in physically? Well, they get dropped in the system as being first contact that way, versus somebody who engaged with you on social media. So if they engage with you on social media, they might receive a different set of emails than the person who engaged with you in person. So if you target people based on how they've engaged with you, your success will be higher, and that's good for a small business. You can't spend all day doing research on somebody. You can't keep track of things like that. It'll never work out.
Yeah, and you did teach me something about the emails too, that you don't want it to sound like so generic, and you want to gear it towards being personable, and that's how they come into your system, by the way they click into your system. So I remember writing an email and you're like, garbage. That's garbage.
Sounds about right.
You were a lot nicer than that. I think you said, what did you say?
I probably said garbage or trash or
helps. It
something like that.
So you did say garbage, but
probably.
It was so helpful. It was like so helpful. And now when I write an email, when I'm physically writing an email, it's not an automation. Your voice comes up in my head, garbage. So I'm like, okay, I gotta sound more personable. I gotta sound more friendly. And so thank you for that tip.
You need to send your emails like you're sending them to an actual human being, and you need to give that illusion that you're the one sending the emails and not some automation
robot.
bot. Yeah.
Yeah.
People can see through it. You got to fool them.
Yeah.
And if you could help me, who's not tech savvy, you could help anyone. Because I'm not tech savvy, and when you come up with like your language on technology, I'm like, what does that mean, Nick? What do you what is a bot? Like, really? I don't, but I'm learning. So number 3, thank you again, Nick.
Yeah. Cool. So if you're a startup company and you want to get some type of automation, go to that link in the Facebook chat and start getting some type of automation, and get somebody like Nick on your team that can really support you and that is going to be honest to you and going to tell you, hey, that's trash. And if it's trash, then you got to go with what he says, because he's the professional in this industry. We have a question down here, Nick. Someone had a question. What do you think the next paradigm shift in technology will be?
I honestly don't know. I don't know if I would even attempt to answer that question.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. All right. Well, let's see if we have any other questions here. I think we have another question. I recently came across a new app that claims to be able to match businesses with people, and with certain people, you can supply the needs, kind of like Harmony platform. Does that sound like it would be of value to business people?
So an app that matches business people with other people? I'm not quite sure I understand.
Yeah, let me add that in real quick so you can take a look at it. Okay. All right, here we go.
There it is.
So like,
can you see that question?
Yeah, like is this like a Fiverr or an Upwork kind of thing?
Yeah, that's just the question I have. Does this sound like it have value to businesses?
I mean, it sounds like a social network.
Yeah.
Maybe. Isn't that what LinkedIn does?
Yeah, they're saying it's just an app. It matches business needs with people who can supply them.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. All right. That's fair enough. That is fair enough.
These are questions that are outside of my specialty here.
Okay. Gotcha.
For sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, we just have to ask. I know you have a lot of specialties,
Well, not only that, you have a group of people in your developers group that you tap into too, that help with different questions like that are they're experts in.
Yeah. Like the Tracy Dev group, everyone is an expert in something.
Yeah.
Definitely not all the same thing. So anytime I need to tap those resources, I do, and they do the same.
Yeah. So if there's somebody that wants to become a developer, I would advise look at that link and join the group. And right now we're streaming those events, so you can do it right at home. You don't have to come out, and you can watch it and check it out.
Yep.
I think Barney might have had one more question for you.
Sure.
Hey, Barney.
I was curious, because it's a journey that all of us go down eventually. When you first have to start using technology, and truthfully, I've used it for 30 years. Been very poor at it because I was always able to rely on somebody else to give me the answers on it. And so, if I'm somebody who's not hasn't been educated, who doesn't have some background in technology, where would I start to pick up what I would call sort of most of us know in life that before we run, we have to learn how to walk. So what's a good way to break into technology so that we kind of learn how to get around it? Courses or what?
Yeah, I mean, I could go with what worked for me personally. Everyone's gonna have a different experience. Pick a problem that you have, and then learn how to solve it. So I mean, don't go into technology thinking, oh, I'm going to learn JavaScript or C++. It's you're not going to have the motivation just to sit there and learn the technology. You need to pick up a personal problem that you have, and you need to learn about how to solve it. And that's, for me at least, a better way to learn when it comes to technology.
I think that makes a lot of sense. I know that one of the things that has helped me a great deal in the last 2 or 3 years is kind of stopped me from being so fearful of messing things up is the quality of Google searches and products that are out there like Wiki How To, where they give you a picture of what you're working on along with the recipe and the steps that you take, and that's really given me a confidence that I was fearful of ruining the computer at one time. So when you're clicking, you can get lost, and I've spent some time lost on the computer.
Yeah. All right. Cool. All right. So, one of the things I like what you said, Nick, and this may be the piece that you leave us with, is to pick a problem and solve it, right? Mm-hmm. That is really good for a lot of people who want to start a business, who have these ideas of, I want to start a business. Well, what is the problem and how do I solve it? I think that's one of the first steps in trying to create a business. If I want to create a restaurant, well, I know people are hungry, right? But if I'm doing burgers, are there 5 burger places on the street, right? What's going to set me apart from another burger place? So find that problem and solve it. All right, Lynn. All right. What would you want to leave the people with? The people that are watching, what would you want to leave them with, Nick? Something special, something that you follow, maybe it's a credo, maybe it's something from the Polyglot. I don't know.
Yeah. Don't give up right away. Everything takes time. If I were to have quit 6 months in when I was only getting two visitors a month, I'm not doing justice, because it just takes time. It takes time to learn a new technology. It takes time to build a brand. It takes time to do all of that. It's not an overnight thing. Some people do have the luxury of having it be an overnight success if they've gone viral or whatever, but the majority will not get that.
Yes, and that's true to say, because you didn't give up on us. So you kept on, and so thank you for not giving up on us. But I also want to give out a shout out to Maria, your wife. She's an amazing woman. Just had a baby 2 months ago. So I got to give credit to Maria too for
Sure.
all that she does for you while you're on the show with us. She's taking care of the kids. I heard the dog barking in the back, and I know she shut that dog up. So, hi, Maria. Love you.
All right. So you heard it from Nic Raboy. Hang in there. It's not gonna always happen overnight, and that you just gotta keep walking it out. Hang in there. Don't give up on yourself. Whatever it is you want to do, whether it's a business, whether it's a marriage, whatever it may be. I've been married to this beautiful woman right here for a very long time, and so I'm sure she might have wanted to give up, but anyway, I love her, and thank you, Nick, for being a part of our show. Thank you, Barney, for coming on and asking some questions for Nick, and we thank you. Any last words, Nick?
No, I think we're good. We covered it a lot. Don't want to overwhelm anyone.
Yeah, good, cool. Thank you, guys. Thanks, Nick. You have a great day.
Have a great day, Nick.
Thanks.
All right.